transition to the cloud. You are helping your customers on how they can migrate applications, how they can leverage AWS. You are their technical advisor on how they can leverage AWS, and you're helping them to develop and definitely to transform. All right, so with this, we reached the summary of module number 1. And if you remember, if I just want to revise on what we explained in module number 1, we mentioned this, and again, this is very important. Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources, and this is via the internet, and the payment model is pay as you go. With the benefits of using AWS includes, we saw why AWS, right? So we saw AWS leadership since 2006, the amount of services that we have, the pace of innovation, starting with 3 services in 15 years, reaching more than 200 services, Amazon culture and the leadership principles, the global footprint, we spoke about regions and availability zones, security, very important. We're going to see now APN community and the hybrid cloud. AWS offers extensive set of products, and we have seen some of these products. If you remember, we have seen compute, we have seen networking, we have seen storage, we have seen database, we have seen management, for example, and governance. And AWS provides redundant global computing infrastructure with global regions, availability zones, and edge locations. And this was module number 1. So in module number 2, we're going to go here through the APN partner network that we have. We're going to see the 2 types of partnerships that we have with AWS. Actually, right now, we have divided these 2, we have made them 5. That's the latest update. I'm going to explain this in details as well. And you need to understand what exactly is your tier. And yeah, of course. Yeah, he's now back, Radu. Yeah. And just please, yeah. Okay. And then describe the benefits of some of the programs that we're going to go through here. So the AWS Partner Network. So the AWS Partner Network, this is our ecosystem of partners. And let me tell you right now, we have more than tens of thousands of partners all around the globe, all of them helping our customers, if you remember, as part of Amazon and AWS, being customer obsessed, either AWS or our partners, we are trying to help our customers in order to be very successful. So the first thing that we have is called the partner network. Once you become an AWS partner, you join this APN or the AWS partner network here, and we're going to go through these ones. And your landing page is this: AWS Partner Central. And as a follow-up to this training, I'm going to send you the slides in a PDF, and all of the links that you see here are clickable on the PDFs, right? So later on, following this training, if you want to revise or check the links that I mentioned through this training, you can check it from the PDF that I will send it to you. So this Partner Central, this is your login page, and from here you can see everything we're going to explain. But what about the partnership levels I can have or types between you and AWS? We have 2 types, or let me tell you, we used to have 2 types. So if you will go through the assessment, so we have 2 types, but I'm going to get you the update that we announced in last December, right? So what are the 2 types that we have? We have either a consulting partner, and consulting partner means what? Means someone who will put a design or the architecture, someone who will deploy this architecture, a partner who can help the customer migrate. And after the customer will migrate, maybe the partner will manage the workloads on the customer behalf. This is a consulting partner. The second type, it's called a technology partner. And technology partner means he's either doing a software or a hardware that integrates with AWS services. A software or a hardware that integrates with AWS services. So, with this, you will get questions in the exam about the types of partnership. So, as per the exam, we have consulting and we have technology partners, right? But to give you the latest updates that happened last December, we have taken these two types of partnerships, which is consulting and technology, and we have made it as 5 different types or 5 different paths. So, very simply, the technology partnership, which was software or hardware, it's now 2 different paths. So, either you are software or hardware, or maybe you are or you want to work with both. We have taken the consulting and divided it into 3 paths here. Services for deployment, training, clear, to provide trainings on AWS and the commercial trainings, and finally, distribution, if you're reselling on behalf of AWS. So, let's see this. Julian has a company, and this company is implementing on-site data centers. So, do you think Julian is technology or consulting? From the definition that we explained, Julian is implementing. Let me go back and explain it again. So, we mentioned 2 types of partnerships: consulting and technology. If someone is designing, building, implementing, migrating, managing the workloads, this is consulting. What about technology? Technology means he's either providing a software that integrates with AWS or a hardware that integrates with AWS services. All right? So, back again to the question. So, Julian company is implementing. Implementing, this is what? This should be the consulting, right? This should be the consulting. All right, what about the partnership tiers? Do we have multiple tiers and requirements? Yes. So what do we have? At the beginning, when you register with AWS, that's the first step. The first step is you will be what? The first step is you will be registered, right? That's the basic partnership tier that you will have with AWS, right? And then you need to pass some parameters. I'm going to explain it right now in order for you to become a select partner. And you're going to see the higher the tier, right, the more programs and benefits you can get from AWS. The higher the tier, the more programs and benefits you can get from AWS. So select, and then you go to advanced, and then you go into Premier. So you will see that for consulting partners, they have 4 tiers: registered, select, advanced, and Premier. And that is the link. You can access it, right, in order for you to understand which tier you are right now. And then for the technology partners, remember, responsible for software or for hardware that can integrate with AWS, we have 3 tiers only: registered, select, and advanced. All right? So for the consulting, we have 4 tiers: registered, select, advanced, and Premier. For technology, we have 3 tiers only: registered, select, and advanced. Let me show you this here. If you can click on these links here. These are the partner path that we explained, right? If you went down here, you will find that We used to have it two types. As per the slides and as per the assessment, consulting, and technology. But for your information, the updated one that we have after the last reInvent in December, now we have 5 different paths. So we have software, hardware, services, training, and distribution. The question, can I have one partner in multiple paths? Yes, I can. And that's something that we encourage as AWS for you to be member even in multiple paths. So for example, you want to be member in services, and at the same time, maybe you're going to do training, for example, right? So what are the requirements? If I went, for example, to the services, I clicked on the services, fine. You will find here that I have requirements. So if I click on requirements, what do I have? Now, I am in the registered. It's here, the first step. I want to move from the registered into the select. What do I need to achieve? You need to achieve something called accreditation, and that's exactly the training that we are in today, right? So following this training, you can get yourself accredited and you can get the badge and you can help your employer now achieve a higher tier. So for the select, we need 4 accreditation, 2 of them technical and 2 business, which is the course that we have today. We need 2 foundational certificates, which is the cloud practitioner, and 2 technical certifications, like the solution architect, like developer associate, like sysops, for example. These are technical certificates. So as you can see, in order for me to go across the tiers, you need to achieve certain certifications, right? So here I need to have like 4, 2, and 2. In order to become advanced, as you can see, the number here is definitely increasing, right? So as you can see, this is how I get it, right? And you can check the multiple tiers and the multiple requirements. So for example, if you want to see some customers' stories, for example, you can see it from here related to the services that we have in this example. All right, back to the slides. So some of the APN benefits, and as I explained, you're going to see that the higher the tier, the more benefits that you will get. The higher the tier, the more benefits that you will get. So for example, this is if you are select, this is if you are advanced, and this is if you are premier. We're going to go through lots of slides with lots of programs that you can have here. So for example, these kind of benefits, they are for everyone. So these kind of benefits, for example, they are for everyone. But for example, these kind of benefits, it's not for everyone, right? We're going to go through some of them and we're going to see how do I get this kind of benefit? The minimum tier I need to be in order to get this benefit. So let's see it one by one. The first one here is, again, I have some programs which we're going to go through them in details, right? These programs, for example, they are unlocked in the registered, which means for all the partners, for anyone. Registered is the beginning of the partnership between yourself and AWS. But then you're going to see as we go, we have some programs that they are only for the select, which means select and anything after, but not for the registered, for example. So let's see it one by one. Programs for registered, which means for any partner, right? Registered is the minimum partnership tier. So it's for any partner. What kind of programs do we have here? There is something called Navigate program. What is this Navigate program? And this is a question you will get in your assessment. What is the Navigate program? Navigate program, this is your enablement digital experience. This is the program that will take you step by step. Remember this keyword. So for example, if you want to achieve a select partnership, right? What is the step by step for me to achieve this partnership? If you want to know about a certain program, what is the step-by-step to achieve this certain program. So what is this? This is called Navigate. Navigate program is for all of our partners, and this is to help them what is exactly the step-by-step to achieve something, right? And we have multiple options that we have on AWS. Another example of a program available to all our partners, something called the ACE. And this is very important, and remember this program. Why? Because through the ACE program or the APN customer engagement, this is your pipeline sharing between yourself and AWS. This is how you are sharing leads, opportunities with AWS. So when you go and meet a customer, for example, and the customer liked the idea of AWS, and you have done with him some workshops, and now he's ready to move into AWS, so you submit this opportunity in the pipeline program between you and AWS, and this is called the ACE program. And definitely any partner can submit opportunities into AWS. But the best thing about the ACE works vice versa, which means you submit opportunities to AWS, and also AWS can give you some opportunities as well. So it's not only this is for you to submit opportunities to AWS. In some of the cases, I'm going to see how AWS as well can refer you in some opportunities that you can do these opportunities. We're going to see how do we get to something like this. All right. Another program called well-architected program. Have you heard about this before? Well-architected framework. Have you heard this term before? Well-architected framework. Okay, very good. So what is this well-architected framework? Right. Throughout our 15 years of experience, we found out that we see lots of designs and lots of architecture on the cloud that they are not designed correctly, right? And that's why in order for us to try to help our partners and our customers doing a correct design, we have come with something called well-architected framework. And this framework is very simply the best practices on how you can have a solution in the cloud, right? So what is this program? The well-architected partner program. This is a program that we take our partners like yourself and we give you training on this framework here. In order to help you, when you are helping your customer designing solutions on AWS, they can design these solutions based on the best practice. Is it clear? The well-architected partner program, and I highly encourage every one of you to be part of this program to understand how can we design this kind of solutions on AWS. And this program is available for everyone. If you remember, we are discussing here the programs for registered, which means any partner can leverage this program. Another program called SaaS program. What is the SaaS program? Software as a service. So this program is specifically for what? For the technology partners providing a certain software, right? Very easy from the name. This program is called SaaS Factory Program. So this is the software as a service program, right? That you help the technology partners providing a software, right? And because of this, we have exactly the same program, but called Device Qualification Program. And this is for what? This is now for the hardware. Remember, we mentioned technology programs, technology partners, they do either a software or a hardware. So if they're doing a software, that's the program that they can put their software in to do all the testing with the AWS services. And if they are providing a certain hardware, then this hardware must be signed as compatible with AWS services, right? How can we do this? Through this kind of program called what? Device qualification programs. And again, this is for any kind of partner who can do this, right? So these kind of programs are for any partners. Now, the second one now is for the select, which means this is not for all our partners. This is for the second tier now called the select tier programs. And with this one here, what do we have? And please pay attention because this is very nice, something called service delivery program. So this means that as AWS, if you are a partner and you have experience with a certain service, like you can do compute, you can do database, you can do analytics, for example, you can do this kind of services. So we have a certain program called service delivery program. And what is this? This is a program. If you get yourself certified as an SDP, this means that as AWS, we trust this partner, that we are telling the customers, you know what? We trust that this partner, for example, can deliver compute, can deliver database. It's per service, as you mentioned here, right? And once you get this kind of certification from AWS, it means that when you go to your customer, you can tell him, you know what? I'm a service delivery program certified for compute. So your customers can understand, okay, I understand that now he has done compute projects from before, right? And he has the technical expertise to do it. But this program, again, is for a certain service, because we're going to see a higher program that we call competency, which can go for something higher than just a service can deliver. All right? Let's go and see something else. Another program, which is for the select partners and above, called Solution Provider Program. And from the name, Solution Provider means you're doing what? You are reselling AWS services, right? You are a solution provider. You are reselling AWS services here, right? So this is the kind of program, if you want to have even more revenue, you are reselling services on behalf of AWS, and you pay AWS and you bill the customer back. This is called a solution provider program. All right? Now, the coming set of programs is for the advanced tiers. Are you following? So we started with registered, then we spoke about the select tier programs, and next we are talking about the advanced. All right? So what kind of options we have? So we have something called managed service provider. What is this program doing? So this program now, after I have my client, I did the design, I migrated this client into AWS, right? But this customer does not have the technical expertise to manage this infrastructure on his behalf. He doesn't have even like the technical employees who can do this, right? So he can go to you as a partner, so you can manage his infrastructure on his behalf, right? And again, as you can see, all of this are more revenue that can come to you. So you can come to your customer, you can help him doing the initial design, you can help him migrate into the cloud. What will happen after migration? Someone needs to manage this infrastructure, right? So if you are a partner, advanced partner, that you have passed this program, we certify that, yes, Mr. Customer, we can trust this partner that he can manage your infrastructure on your behalf, right? So it can be more revenue coming to you. So you are managing your customer environment. You helped him after doing the migration here. You're helping him in doing what? In monitoring, if you want to automate a certain parameter, for example, and the complete management on his infrastructure, right? Which kind of partner can do this? It's the consulting, right? It's definitely the consulting partner. All right, some more programs. And as I mentioned, I'm going to send you the PDF later on so you can read about all of these programs again in details. AWS Competency Program. This is one of my best programs here, right? AWS Competency Program. What is this competency? I believe you have seen, if you are in the industry for like 10, 20, 30 years before, then whenever there is an RFP floated in the market, whenever there is a new tender in the market, you will find sometimes that the customer is saying, in order for me to award this project to a partner, for example, I need this partner to give me his past experience projects. I need to see that he has done, for example, 3 similar size projects, and I need to see this partner employee CVs, right? Because once I will see all of this, I can trust that this partner has the enough technical expertise, right? I believe everyone, we have seen something like this before, right? So what is this competency program? Competency program means this is a program that we have done for our partners as AWS. And by the way, it's not an easy program at all. Why? Because we want to take our partners through like some tests, right? We want to see ourselves, their previous experience. We want to see what they have done with their previous customers now. And we even want some customer references that they will be like public references to say, for example, that this partner, for example, is competent in, for example, in migration. Or this partner is competent maybe in SAP or in Windows, for example, right? So now this competency program is available for the Advanced Plus, which means Advanced and Premier as well. And this is like the guarantee from AWS to our customers, telling them we have certified this partner as a competent. And we have multiple competency that I will show you in a later slide. Like it can be based on the industry, like for example, competent in oil and gas, in retail, in education, in public sector, or it can be based on the workload, like SAP, like Windows, like VMware, for example, or it can be based on what you're doing, like migration, like security, right? So you can choose what exactly you are expert in, and you can apply for this competency program. And this is something very, very nice. Why? Because, for example, for us as AWS, if we have a new customer, let's say, that we want to help him migrate to the cloud, but we don't have the enough resources, for example. So we can search for a certain migration competency partner in this country, for example. And we can see that you are a migration competent, so we can send you this kind of leads. Remember when I mentioned that through the ACE program, you submit leads and also AWS can send you back leads. How AWS can send you back leads? If you are, for example, competent enough, right? And how do we guarantee that? We can simply guarantee that by having the competency program. Is this clear? Is this one clear? This is a very nice program that we have here, and definitely you're going to have a question about this one in your exam. So that's the summary of what we discussed so far. So with this module, we identified the APN network, right? And the benefits. We identified something called consulting and technology. I hope by now this should be clear. Consulting partners and technology partners. If you remember now, this is in 5 new paths, right? So technology is in software and hardware, and this one is in training, in services, and in distribution. And these are the new 5 paths. I'm just revising. Identify the APN tiers. Do you remember? Registered, select, advanced, and premier. And we spoke about some of these programs here for the consulting and the technology partners. Is this clear with everyone? Any question about this program? And again, when I send you the slides, you will find the links. You can just click on the links and read in details about any of these programs. Any question about this? Is it clear with everyone? All right, so we take part of module number 3 and maybe 15 or more, 20 minutes, and then we stop for our lunch break. So for the customer engagement, module number 3, what we're going to discuss here, we're going to explain the partner role, your role in the client cloud adoption, and we're going to see what is this cloud adoption journey, what are the phases of this journey, and then describe some way, this is very nice, describe some ways to handle customer objections. Maybe from the first glance, customers will not be very convinced, right? So how can you handle the customer objection? Use what we call engagement frameworks. I'm going to explain this in details. And if you want to give the customer maybe high-level pricing so that he can say, okay, that looks very good. With this, maybe we can save like 30 or 40% to be more cost effective. Then we can go for the cloud. So let's see one by one here. So for the APN partner value, this is your value as a partner. This is how you add a value as a partner. So for the cloud adoption challenges here, what is this? Right now, cloud in general or cloud as a concept is disrupting almost every industry. If you remember, now we can post any workloads on the cloud, right? So what's happening? The discussions are moving now from why the cloud, maybe 5 years back or 10 years back, we were discussing why the cloud, into when I'm going to move into the cloud. With all the benefits that we discussed, it doesn't really make sense unless I have like a crucial reason just to remain on premises. But the challenge is cloud is providing a significant shift on how do I do my business, right? Is providing a significant shift on how do I do my business. So what do you need to do? I need to do knowledge and training for my customer, right? So maybe my customers, they heard about the cloud, but they're not sure. So you as a partner need to do what? I need to do for them knowledge transfer. I need to do for them trainings. Maybe like you bring the whiteboard and you explain for them, for example, a certain service. Maybe something like RDS. Something like funding. In order to move into the cloud, you're going to see it requires some investment. So can we help as AWS/partner in order to fund this kind of POCs? Definitely yes. And I'm going to explain at the end in module number 5 the kind of fundings that we have and we propose for the customers to help them maybe do a POC. And sometimes we can fund 100% of the POC or even some fund to help them go into the cloud itself. Purchasing. What is purchasing here? As we explained, the purchasing model in the cloud is completely different. If I have my on-premises, how do I purchase it? We mentioned it's a CapEx model. In the cloud, how do you purchase it? It's a variable expenses monthly model, right? So again, I need to go and explain this to the customer. And in some cases, you might find what? You might find resistance, right? Especially if you have like some people working with the legacy environment, and you know some people, they don't like to change, right? So they will tell you, okay, it's good, but like we don't want to change much, right? We want to stay as we are. And that's why for these kind of people, you need to build for them what we call a business plan. a business plan so they can compare with if they stayed as they are and then if they moved into the cloud. And usually the business plan is from 3 to 5 years. So they can see the benefit of what are all the benefits if I moved into the cloud. So you might ask questions for your customers, and you definitely understand your customers are not all of them the same. So it's not like just one solution that fits everyone. Definitely not. So you might ask some questions, like, for example, is this your first project? Or what is the time frame of this project? Maybe you need to do this in like 6 months or 1 year, for example. And then how familiar you are with AWS service. So maybe you need to explain for him the service. Like you explain what is an EC2 instance, what is, for example, an RDS. Or another example, like what level of security you're doing right now, or maybe what kind of encryption keys that you're doing right now. How do you do procurement? Remember, capex versus variable expenses. What about your licenses? For example, if you have Oracle licenses, if this customer already purchased Oracle licenses and he wants to move into Oracle RDS, does it make sense that he will re-buy again the licenses? Definitely not. So how can we still utilize his own licenses, right? You need to ask all of these questions. And now, very, very important, what do you bring to the customer? And when I say you, I mean yourself as a partner. What do you bring to the customer? Very, very important. Every partner is very unique in his experience. Every partner dealt with different types of customers, right? He has deployed multiple types of technologies, right? So every partner coming into an opportunity with a customer is bringing his unique experience, right? With whatever projects he has done from before, whatever technology he has worked on from before. And you are bringing your customer knowledge. I have seen, and I believe that you will agree with me, you have seen some customers who really trust certain partners, right? He has worked with this partner for like the last 5 or 10 years. He trusts that this partner is his trusted advisor, and that's why if you are this kind of partner, you are bringing the customer knowledge. You know inside out this customer, right? You know him inside out. You know who are the decision makers, who are the most important stakeholders, for example. And then you bring your skills and your expertise with AWS tools. And you're going to see that this is something very nice. Once you start working with AWS, you need to be learning always a lot, right? You need to be learning a lot. It's very, very dynamic. And every day, almost like every day, we have something new, right? So you bring all of these kind of unique experiences as a partner in order to drive the customer outcome with AWS, right? So what is the cloud journey? What do I mean by cloud journey? So when you will go and explain these benefits to your customers, right? Will they go to the cloud from day one? They will tell you, oh, we love everything. Let's move everything into the cloud. Definitely not the case. So usually, what is the cycle here? The first thing is the customer will tell you, you know what? I really like what you're saying. So let's start with something like test and dev. Right. Test and dev is not something in production. So maybe I can move my test and dev environment into the cloud and check how is it going. And following up the coming few months, if I see all the benefits of what you explained to me, now I can get a confidence as a customer and I can move some of my production workloads into the cloud. And again, I keep on monitoring, right? But then I saw that, wow, when I moved into the cloud, I can see all the benefits and all the enhancements that came into either my staff productivity or into enhancing my uptime or enhancing my security posture now when I am on the cloud. Then I get more and more confidence so I can move even my mission critical applications. And finally, I can move all in. All in means what? I migrated everything from my on premises into the cloud. Right? Did you get this? So this is, we call it the journey. And it really makes sense, right? So definitely I will not migrate my production from day one. I need to see it first. So either I will need to see it through a POC, or I can even migrate my test and dev. And then I can keep on going. The more I go, the more confidence I have, and the more trust that I saw in the AWS services and features that it's really affecting my business till the level that, you know what, I can completely decommission my on-premise and work on the cloud. So as partners, what you're adding here or what you're helping and supporting here. So you might support with the consulting services, right? You might support with the migration services. So this one here is to explain and to educate this customer about all the benefits of moving into the cloud. And then doing the migration, the real migration, moving from the on-premises into the cloud. And then once this customer is in the cloud, remember, you can manage. And as you can see, with every one of this is like extra revenue coming to you as a partner, providing the consulting services, right? And then you are the one helping him in the migration. And then you are the one managing your customer infrastructure. And usually we always say this, you do this and you again iterate. Iterate means what? On how you can enhance this customer solution, right? How can you enhance this customer solution? We always say this word. Your first design is definitely not the last one. So you design it and then you keep on iterating or you keep on optimizing your customer environment. All right. I guess we can stop here because this section is how you can handle your customer conversations. So I guess we can stop here. We can maybe pause for the lunch break. And I always ask this question. So let me ask you this question here. So do you want the lunch break to be 30 minutes or 45 minutes? And depends on your answers, what you will say, we're going to decide. You want the lunch break to be 30 minutes or 45 minutes? If you can please put it for me on the chat. Okay, 45 and neutral. 45. 45 as well. No 30s? Okay. Wow, looks like decision is done. More of 45s. Okay, so deep one with 30. Okay. All right. Anyone more? Anyone with 30? Or you all agree on the 45? This is the largest number of votes. All right. So if no one wants to go for 30, or I didn't see anyone asking for 30, so with this, we can go for a 45 minutes lunch break. Let me put the timer for you here, right? So you can track it. So we go for 45 minutes break and then we come to continue. Please, before going into the lunch break, anyone has any question? Anyone has any question? All right. So if no questions, then you can go and enjoy. All right. I hope all is clear. Thank you, David. And you can go and enjoy. Okay, interesting content. Thank you, Radu, for this. Thanks a lot for this as well. And I hope that we're going with an okay speed with everyone. I try to be as, I will not say slow, but as like a normal pace so everyone can get the information. And you will find me that in some cases I'm even revising what I just explained, just to make sure that you have it in your mind. All right. So let's pause for 45 minutes and we come back to continue. Enjoy your lunch break, and I will see you in 45 minutes.